You ever feel so invisible that people don't just ignore you, they actually make a sport out of tearing you down? That was Emily Carter's life for months at Westbridge High. She was this tiny, shy 16-year-old girl with mousy brown hair, thick glasses that always seemed a little too big for her face, and a uniform that hung loose on her slight frame. Walking through those school hallways, she moved like a ghost, head down, shoulders hunched, trying not to be noticed, hoping to just disappear. But what nobody knew was that behind that quiet exterior was a fighter. Literally. Let me back up a sec. Emily wasn't always this invisible. When she was 8, after a brutal bullying incident at her old school, her dating ex-military guy signed her up for MMA classes. 8 years of training later, under a former UFC fighter's guidance, she had become a lean, sharp, strategic athlete. 3 regional championships under her belt, muscles honed for precision strikes. But more than that, her coach taught her a crucial lesson. True strength is knowing when not to fight. So when her family moved across the country and she started junior year at Westbridge, she promised her parents she'd focus on school, avoid trouble, and keep her fists down. But peace came at a price. Almost immediately, a trio of tormentors zeroed in on her. Chloe Reynolds, a tall, platinum blonde volleyball captain, school board president's daughter, with a sharp tongue that cut deeper than any blade. Brandon Haisa, a hulking, 6'2" linebacker who enjoyed making others feel small. And Megan Elisa, petite redhead who looked innocent, but was a mastermind of psychological torture, spreading rumors and private photos on social media like poison darts. Together, they turned Emily's days into a relentless nightmare. It started small accidental shoulder bumps that sent her books flying, snide remarks about her clothes, her weirdness. Then came the public humiliations, tripping her in the hallways, spilling drinks near a locker, blocking her way. Even the teachers and principal, oblivious or unwilling to intervene. Westbridge High's faculty was too busy keeping up appearances or focused on star athletes to notice the quiet girls suffering. The students either joined in the cruelty or looked away, terrified of becoming the next target. Every morning, Emily woke with a knot in her stomach. She planned her routes, packed food that wouldn't make a mess if knocked down, and mastered the art of avoiding the bullying trio. But inside, Coach Danielle's voice echoed in her head. You've got to control distance and timing. Remember, sometimes the fight is in your mind, not your fists. She remembered the satisfaction of a perfect combo, the adrenaline from sparring, but also her mom's tearful plea for a fresh start, and the promise she made to herself. No fighting. But sometimes, no matter how much you try to stay invisible, the world forces you to stand up. That day came on a cold Tuesday in late October. Emily had already had a rough morning, overslept, missed breakfast, forgotten homework, and tanked a test she thought she nailed. So lunch was her one sanctuary. She'd packed her favorite turkey avocado sandwich made by her dad, homemade chocolate chip cookies sprinkled with sea salt from her mom, and a thermos of chai tea blended by her grandmother. That lunch wasn't just food, it was a lifeline to family, comfort in a hostile world. She settled into her usual corner table, unpacking everything carefully, the kind of ritual that brought peace amid chaos. But peace didn't last. Look who's eating fancy today. Chloe's voice cut sharp through the cafeteria buzz. Emily tensed but kept her eyes on her sandwich. Eye contact, she knew, only fueled their fire. Chloe stepped closer, designer sneakers flashing in Emily's peripheral vision. You freak. Why don't you eat somewhere else? Maybe in a dumpster where you belong. Brandon sneered from behind. Yeah, weird freak. Nobody wants you here. Megan, quiet but cruel, whispered. I heard she talks to herself in the bathroom. Like full-on conversations. Pathetic. The cafeteria fell silent. Eyes locked on Emily, waiting for her to crumble, to burst. But she didn't. Chloe, with a cruel smirk, snatched Emily's tray, lifting it high for all to see. In a heartbeat, it crashed to the floor, sandwich splattered, cookies crushed, tea splashed like a scene from a bad movie. Then came the worst. Chloe spat right on the remains of Emily's lunch. A slow, deliberate act of contempt that echoed louder than words. Something inside Emily snapped, not broke, snapped like a rubber band stretched too far. 8 years of training, discipline, and restraint flooded out in a fierce blaze of rage. She stood slow, steady, and for the first time since she arrived at Westbridge, looked Chloe straight in the eyes. Shoulders squared, spine straight, feet naturally sliding into a fighting stance without conscious thought. "What did you just do?" Her voice was quiet, but it cut through the cafeteria's silence like the calm before a storm. Chloe stumbled back, shocked. "Who didn't do anything? It was an accident." "It wasn't an accident," Emily said, eyes cold but steady. "You spat on my food. My mom made those cookies. My dad made that sandwich. My grandma made that tea. You destroyed something that connected me to my family, and then you spit on it like it was garbage." Brandon stepped forward, towering, trying to scare her off. "Back off, psycho. It's not that serious." Emily turned to him, and the confidence in her eyes froze him in place. The meek girl they'd bullied for months was gone. Now stood someone who knew exactly what she was capable of. "You're right," she said loud enough for everyone to hear. "It's not that serious. Spitting on someone's food? Just another Tuesday for you three, right? Just another way to remind me I don't matter." She scanned the cafeteria, locking eyes with students who had watched her humiliation in silence. "How many of you saw this? How many of you watched them trip me, knock my books down, make me feel like I don't deserve to exist here?" The room held its breath. No one answered. "I try to be invisible," Emily continued, voice growing stronger. "I thought if I kept my head down, stayed out of trouble, eventually you'd get bored. But you didn't. You thought I was weak." Chloe's mouth hung open, clearly unprepared for this kind of pushback. "But you know what? Sometimes violence is the only language bullies understand." The transformation was complete. Emily moved with the grace of a trained fighter, balanced, calm, ready. "You want to know what's not serious?" She took a step closer. "I could have ended this on day one. I've been holding back because I thought it made me better than you." Chloe tried to recover. "You're crazy. You can't just threaten people. I'm reporting you to the principal." "Report me for what?" "Standing up? Using my voice." "I haven't touched you." Emily smiled, coldly sharp as a blade. The word hung there, both a promise and a warning. Brandon lunged at her, but Emily was faster. She used his momentum to flip him onto the cafeteria floor with a thud that echoed like a gunshot. The crowd gasped. The once feared football player lay stunned, wind knocked out of him by a girl half his size. Chloe panicked. "You're insane. You'll get expelled." Emily stood calm, breathing steady. "He grabbed me first." Everyone saw. As Brandon struggled to stand, face red with rage and embarrassment, he swung wildly. But Emily was already inside his reach, ducked, and landed a sharp elbow to his ribs that doubled him over. Then a quick wrist twist brought him to his knees, controlled, precise, no unnecessary harm. "I don't want to hurt you," she said quietly. "But I will if you keep this up." Chloe screamed for security. No one moved. The students who once watched her suffer now watched her with awe, some even filming. Emily looked at Chloe with a strange mix of pity and strength. 3 months. 3 months of misery. You made me dread this place. Made me question myself. But there's nothing wrong with me. She stepped closer to Chloe, who shrank back. "The problem is you bullies. Cowards who need to hurt others to feel powerful. And you picked me because you thought I was weak." Chloe's confident mask cracked. "Maybe we went too far. Maybe we can forget this." "No," Emily cut in sharply. "We can't forget. Because you didn't just hurt me, hurt every quiet kid, every outsider who just wants to survive the day without feeling like they don't belong." Her gaze swept the cafeteria, landing on the younger students, frequent targets of Chloe's cruelty. There are 2 kinds of people in this world: those who use strength to protect, and those who use it to hurt. You chose to hurt. Chloe whispered an apology, genuine for the first time. "I am sorry. We'll leave you alone." Emily's voice softened but remained firm. "It's too late for that. The damage is done. But maybe it's not too late for you to learn." She turned to the crowd, voice ringing clear. "This is what happens when you push someone too far. When you mistake kindness for weakness. I didn't want to fight. You gave me no choice." Her eyes locked with a group of underclassmen who looked at her like a hero. You don't have to accept being treated like garbage. You don't have to smile and take it. You have the right to stand up, to demand respect, to take up space. Turning back to Chloe one last time, she said, "I'm not here to make your life miserable. But if you're anyone ever mess with me or others like this again, you'll see that what you saw today was me being gentle." Chloe nodded, tears streaming. Megan helped Brandon to his feet, both shaken, humbled. Emily pointed at the mess on the floor. "Clean up my lunch." All of it. Without a word, the three knelt down, gathering the broken pieces, wiping the spilled tea. It was symbolic. Nothing could undo what was done, but it was something. Whispers spread through the cafeteria. "Did you see how fast she moved? Where did she learn to fight like that? She made Brandon look like a kid." Chloe was crying. By the end of the day, the story exploded: videos, comments, debates. The invisible girl had become a legend overnight. The principal called Emily in, but with video evidence and witnesses, it was clear she defended herself. The investigation revealed years of bullying by Chloe's group. Consequences followed: suspensions, counseling, social media bans, but the real shift was social. Students who once ignored Emily now sought her out. Freshman Sarah said, "I wish I had your guts. I've been dealing with Chloe for 2 years and never knew what to do." Emily told her, "You don't have to fight, but you do need to stand up, find your voice, set boundaries, and never let anyone make you feel less." Some expected Emily to become a new queen bee. Others gave her space out of fear, but she refused to be what she defeated. She built a safe lunch group for outsiders, worked with administration on better anti-bullying policies, and helped train others in self-defense. Chloe even came to her later, a sincere apology in hand, admitting she finally understood what it felt like to be powerless, scared, and unseen. Emily accepted it cautiously. "I hope you use this to be better to everyone." 6 months later, Emily was one of the most respected students at Westbridge. She'd found peace with her strength, learned that true power isn't about hurting others, but knowing when and why to stand up. In that very cafeteria, where it all came to a head, she reflected on her journey, the lessons of Coach Daniels, the cost of silence, and the courage to be seen. True strength, she realized, isn't never fighting. It's fighting for the right reasons, the right way, at the right time. Her gentleness was no weakness. It was a choice made stronger by the power to be otherwise. Emily had become someone who cast shadows not to hide others, but to protect them. And in that, she found what winning really meant. So what do you think, folks? When does standing up become fighting back? Is it ever wrong to fight for your dignity? Or should we all learn to find our inner Emily before it's too late? Drop your thoughts below, because this story isn't just hers. It's every quiet voice waiting to be heard.